Assalamu alaikum. We have a few topics to discuss today. Number one is widespread of coronavirus in Pakistan, and then accountability process which is being accelerated in Pakistan. Third topic is next budget, which is being presented in the National Assembly, hopefully in the first week of June 2020. Then China-India conflict and its background and possible effects. So let's start with coronavirus. As you are aware that in Pakistan there was almost semi lockdown in all over areas in Pakistan in all provinces. Uh, Although there was some type of difference and between federation and the province of Sindh. Province of Sindh was interested to have more strict lockdown like curfew type, whereas the federation's point of view was that in order to save people from uh, poverty and ensure their earning, there was not possible to have strict lockdown like curfew. So anyway, it was done, and as we see that there was little controlled situation in Pakistan in all the provinces, especially. But during Ramadan, there was a strong demand from many stakeholders. One were shopkeepers and traders, small traders. They wanted to do their business during the holy month of Ramadan, and also uh, for Eid shoppings because that is season. They have their season to earn from their business, and similarly from people of Pakistan as well because they also wanted to have shopping for their Eid, new dresses, new jewelries for their kids, for themselves, and also a little bit festivity. So because of that, you see that the lockdown was relaxed and the markets were allowed to do business, but with some SOPs of safe distance and etc. etc., which was totally ignored by people of Pakistan as well as the traders and the shopkeepers. And because of that, you see that we have highest rate of uh, corona positive being reported now, and also highest number of deaths. Yesterday it was reported 57, and today is more than that. So it's very alarming situation, and the government is thinking to review this, and maybe there'll be again some type of strong and strict lockdown. And I hope that all the communities, in the interest of lives of people, they will follow and they will implement this. Because if there's life, then there's business. If there's life, there's festivity. But if there's no life, what will do? Nothing. So, uh, and I also want to comment that uh, generally in the districts, mostly the arrangements are being done by the administration, local administration, headed by deputy commissioners. That's good because deputy commissioner is in charge of it province. But I guess that health professionals, doctors, should be given more priority relevant to the matters of coronavirus and other health issues because they are technocrats. They know the requirements, and also there's need of enhancement of capacity because as I am visualizing that there will be more number of corona positive in the coming days. So we have seen that several doctors they are also suffering from this coronavirus, and some of them have left this mortal world because of this because they were also positive cases, and they are offering sacrifices. Similar is the case with the police personnel because I have also uh, read and heard news from various quarters that even in Sindh, there are many police officers or police employees that are also suffering from this coronavirus. And obviously, our army, which is also playing as frontline role and helping out to the civil administration. So their men are also very vulnerable, and some of them have also lost their lives. So I will request to the people of Pakistan that don't feel it like a joke, don't take it lightly. This is a really severe and serious situation. So please follow the SOPs and please follow the instructions of the health department to avoid yourself suffering from this coronavirus and also your families, because if you will be suffering from it, that will go to the family members of your whole family. So for the sake of your children, for the sake of all your elders and other relatives and friends, try to save yourself. This is a matter of some days. Maybe after that there will be some treatment will be invented, or etc. Or similarly the vaccine will also be introduced, hopefully. So to that extent, and the accountability process, as you are aware that the ordinance which was promulgated by the federal government of Pakistan, little uh, restricting to the accountability bureau from some segment of people or society of taking cognizance in case of corruption and similar misuse of authority and these type of things. So the ordinance has expired because the period of federal ordinance is four months. If it is not reissued or re-promulgated, or it is not passed by the parliament, then that leaves the ground, and now the audience is no more in the ground, is not holding the ground. So all the previous powers of the national accountability have automatically revived, and that's why NABE is accelerating its process. And as you have seen that they are, especially the target is pending cases against like Mia family. Mia Shehbaz Sharif is in Pakistan, and he came Pakistan from UK. I don't know what was the reason why he came here, but now he has been he's in a mess and he's in a problem, and uh, he may suffer and he may be apprehended because he has been called and summoned by the NAPE authorities in the first week of June, and it is expected a likelihood that he may be arrested. Similar is the case with some other leaders, like NAPE court has issued summons to ex former Prime Minister uh, Gilani, and similarly to Mia Nawaz Sharif and Asif Ali Zardari on the in the case of buying some vehicles which were gifted to government of Pakistan by foreign dignitaries, yeah, foreign authorities. So that is being extradited. Similar is the case that Peshawar bus project, which is being delaying since long, and that has been now the Peshawar High Court had issued directions to the FIA authorities to take initiative and jurisdiction and investigate the matter. But the other party went to the Supreme Court of Pakistan, and Supreme Court of Pakistan passed restraining orders. Now, Supreme Court of Pakistan has also fixed that petition in the next week, starting from first week of June. So hopefully that will also be decided. And if it is decided, and the Supreme Court, I don't know what will be decided because it's matter is sub judice. And if it is decided that FIA should be allowed to uh, initiate investigation, then the situation may be different and difficult for PTI leaders which are named in that project of shower bus service. So, similarly, Mr. Ghulam Sarwar Khan, Federal Minister, and Minister for Religious Affairs, their inquiries are also have been approved to conduct inquiry and initial investigation by neighbor authorities. So they are also in trouble and maybe in trouble. Uh, let's see what happens with them actually. But this is going on, and apparently the neighbor authorities and chairman there is accelerating its his process and proceedings uh, against the pending inquiries and pending trial, pending references, etc. So this is the matter of accountability so far. Yes, next budget for 2020 and 21 is also due to be presented in the National Assembly in first or second week of June. Hopefully, it will be presented before the cabinet for approval in the first week, and in the same week, maybe it will be presented in this National Assembly. So, what will be the budget? What type of budget? What type of relief to the people of Pakistan will be provided by the government, and is government in a position to provide some relief? So, first of all, one thing I want to convey and suggest to the government of Pakistan, and especially Mr. Imran Khan, because he is a popular leader and he was elected by people of Pakistan, and because of his previous performance as captain of the cricket team and also uh, heading the project, community project of cancer hospital. So because of that performance, his integrity, financial integrity is beyond doubts. And so far, he has passed around 2 years of his government. Uh, Not such allegation of financial irregularity done by him has come to surface. So, but at the same time, the poverty has increased, unemployment has increased, and over and above the because of coronavirus, that also has affected and dented to the economy of Pakistan. And you have seen that the value of Pak rupees has been devalued as compared to US dollars, which has also impacted on price, and that has become reason of price hike. And thereafter, you see that similarly, stock market has crashed many times and at a low stage again, and there's no job. And yes, oil prices have been revisited, and couple of times those are decreased. But actual, you see that the fruit of reduction of oil prices have not been able to be passed to the common people, because generally people they are buying the things on the same rates which were at a time when the price of oil was high. So government should also look towards this area as well, and activate its machinery and bureaucracy to compel to the people and relevant people to reduce the prices of the things which are attached with the price of oil, because now the price of oil has down around uh, many percent. Even now we are hearing that there is another cut down in the price. So the benefit of this reduction of oil prices should go to the common people in the form of reduction or reducing the rates of the prices of common things, and similarly the travel expenses or tickets of railways and other buses and even uh, air travel, etc. So it should be also reviewed in the light of the uh, present reduced prices of oil. And similarly, government of Pakistan should also keep in mind that in budget that there should be some tax relief to common people as well. The people who are are employees of government employees, or they are in private sector employees, there should be some type of relaxation and some type of reduction in the tax slabs for those people. And yes, it should be made more, you see, effective in the form of GST, general sales tax. But again, I will suggest that GST should not be levied or enhanced, even it should be reduced from the products which are relevant to making pharmaceuticals, medicines, food items, and the items which are used for hospitals, etc. So they should be given relief in the taxes. And the bureaucracy should also be reviewed, their terms and condition and these type of things, so that they should be made more effective, and they should also be provided a conducive working environment. They should also be encouraging environment to have. If they are performers, they should be given weightage of that, not just one increment to everyone, whether he is a good performer or bad performer. Good performers should be given more increments. The bad performers should be given less increments, as it is being done in corporate sector or the private sector in multinational companies. They are doing like this, so that the bureaucrats who are really backbone for the country in their sphere of departments, in the sphere of their affairs, they should be encouraged, they should be trained, they should be uh, given opportunities of promotion, etc., etc. I hope that the committee which was formed under the headed by uh, former governor of State Bank, Dr. Saab, that has presented its Dr. Ishwar Sen, that has presented its recommendations, and those recommendations should be implemented in this budget. Not maybe not fully, but to some extent, because now the government has only 3 years left as per their constitutional term. And last year is always you see that goes for the preparation of next elections. So in this situation, they have only 2 years to perform and to uh, give demonstration that how much the government is interested in the welfare of the people. Entrepreneurs should be given relief, and they should be encouraged to uh, you see uh, to go to for new industries, new businesses, and young generation should also be encouraged to develop themselves as entrepreneurs instead of waiting for jobs, because no government can provide, or no even private sector can provide jobs to everyone. So we should have concept of entrepreneurship among our youngsters. We have majority of people who are young class, and this is an healthy sign for us. So this their capabilities, their energy should be utilized properly. Now, brief comments on China-India tension in Ladakh. As you are which I have, yesterday I was in a television program and I also expressed there as well, similar way. Actually, the main problem is CPAC. CPAC is not liked by India. Why India did not like? India has actually two problems. Number one, India is in competition with China to become a superpower, or at least to become big or power parallel to, or you see, in competition to China. So India does not want the influence of China in the region. Similarly, the case the USA is also not interested, and also against this. And you see, many times the officials of USA, they have uh, even issued statements against China's loans for Pakistan and these type of things. So the route which has to be passed through from that area, which is close to, you see, these northern areas, that has to be had to be captured by India actually, and that was the reason that India tried to construct roads, heavy roads, to move the heavy machinery and heavy equipments, their defense equipments, to bring to that area. And similarly, there was also they were strengthening air base there as well. So the objective was this actually, but very rightly, the Chinese government took step on it, and now China has curtailed to India, and rather also captured some area very rightly, which was more vulnerable, and that is disputed area. You see, and under the pact between India and China, that is uh, declared as disputed territory, and it was agreed that there will be no construction in that area because that is disputed area. But India violated that, and because of that, I have told you that one, India does not want the influence of China because uh, India want to be at par, rather more superior than China. And second thing is CPEC, and CPEC is because the other reason is that India is, you see, that permanent enemy of Pakistan, self-created enemy. India assumes itself as enemy of Pakistan just because the reason of Kashmir issue, etc. So because of CPEC, Pakistan is one of the big beneficiaries of the CPEC if that is implemented. So India does not want, and the second thing is our Basha Dam, that is also close in that region, and India does not want that Pakistan is successful to construct a dam which may solve the problem of over electricity or power and water as well. So so far, this is the situation. Both the troops are in front of each other, and uh, China has built its strength there and moved their machinery and also uh, aerial sports as well. So the situation is very difficult for India as in this position. At the same time, you see that the president of USA has offered his mediation, as he offered mediation on Kashmir issue. But India did not accept that on Kashmir issue. Let's see what happens in this mediation. If India accepts this mediation of USA, that is double standard. You see, it will expose to India. Our India has been exposed. I guess the government of Modi is blessing for Pakistan because in past it was treated that India is a secular state and every people from every religion are citizens of India and they can live according to their religion, their life, etc., etc. But blessing is this that India, because of government of Modi and its RSS activists, India has been exposed now that that is no more a secular state because Muslims are being victimized there, Christians are being victimized there, even other religions, even the lower caste of Hindus, they are also being, you see, victimized there, and a long period lockdown in Kashmir. So that has exposed the actual face of India before the world community, civilized community. Now they understand that India is a threat for other communities. So what I foresee that if Modi will continue his government and if he gets another term to continue, certainly there is a likelihood of split in India, you see, and there is possibility that the people of India, because generally people of India, they are democratic people, and you see people from different communities they are living there since many years. Even when Muslims came into India after Muhammad bin Qasim, the Indian people accepted them. Then Mughal rule and other rules, even UK rule, there was nothing like that. But now the racist government of Mr. Modi has exposed, and because of those racist and fundamentalist Hindus, the face and fabric of Indian society has been damaged, and that is exposed before the world community. So the realistic people, people who have some wisdom in India, they are against Modi, and they can come out to the streets, and there may be some sort of civil war against sitting government. So I wanted to discuss only this, and we'll discuss again on some other topics quite some time. And please keep me in your pace. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.